Mr. Mitchell for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. General Dodaro, you may have to rotate experts there, sir.
I need a chair on wheels.
What's that?
I say I need a chair on wheels. I'm just.
Oh, that's good. Yes, you do right here. If you remember Congress, you need wheels as well. Trust me on that. I'd like to talk a little bit about transportation, surface transportation. The GAO report found, somebody new.
Yeah, right.
The GAO report found that several agencies failed to document key award decisions when making decisions regarding discretionary, I would say allegedly competitive grants that resulted in poor decision-making. Specifically, GAO found that DOT failed to document key decisions and deviated from established procedures in awarding the Tiger grants, the Transportation Investment Generating Economic Recovery grants. What were your office's findings or recommendations regarding that matter?
Yeah, we were very concerned about the lack of documentation and the transparency on which these grants were awarded. Ms. Sigerud can't explain the details there. We've made some recommendations. They've taken some actions, but not enough. So I think congressional follow-up would be helpful. Kate?
GAO has looked at several different types of discretionary grants given by the Department of Transportation, including the Tiger grants that you mentioned, as well as more recently some transit grants related to emergency situations.
Sure.
In all of those cases, we found both a lack of transparency at the beginning about the criteria, and then explanation of how those criteria were applied throughout the entire process, including documentation of any decisions that were made outside or not in agreement with those criteria. So we made sort of a wrap-up recommendation in December of this year regarding all of the discretionary grant programs at the department, and we will be monitoring how the department looks at both that upfront criteria setting as well as the decision-making and the documentation throughout.
Did your review look at how much money was spent outside the anticipated intent guidelines? Did you look at the amount of money that was, let's say, misallocated, for lack of a better term? Did you get an estimate of that?
I'd like to get that number to you for the record. We did look at grants and identified some that were elevated above others in apparent disagreement with the criteria that were originally established.
When you provide that, if you could provide not only the amount, but which grants and which locations they were for?
I'd like to get back with our team on that so
Sure,
we can determine the level of detail that we have.
If we could put that in the record, Mr. Chair, when we do receive that, I would appreciate it. One more quick question for you while I have time. One of the findings you note is that funding for transportation, highway transportation, has eroded in part because of inflationary impacts and the failure to raise the gas tax. Has the department made any recommendations regarding efficiency, regarding administrative cost cuts that can be made at DOT to in fact put more money in the highways?
No, we've not. You mean by the department? You mean the GAO?
GAO, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll get back. I'll look at that, and we'll get back to you for the record. Nothing springs to mind offhand in that area. I think our main recommendations have been mostly geared toward making sure that the state's use of the highway money is producing good results.
Sure.
And that's been our primary area of concern. I don't think we've identified other areas that could be cut to shift money into that area.
Well, the question I would ask is how efficient are we being with the money, and how much money is being transmitted on to the states rather than spent on, I would say, bureaucratic overhead that in fact doesn't put highway miles, doesn't fix roads, which in Michigan and across this country is significant concerns.
Right. No, we'll go back. I'll go back and take a look and submit something for the record for that area. Offhand, nothing comes to mind.
I appreciate the review. Thank you very much. And now you go back, Mr. Chair.